You know what time of year it is. The BCU Wildcat Insider is back for the 2018 season for the Bethune-Cookman University Wildcats. I'm your co-host Nolan Alexander, joined by Bryan Harvey. Bryan, we're here in Norfolk, Virginia for the MEAC Media Days. This is where it all gets started.
Yeah, it all starts right here. The 2018 MEAC football kickoff luncheon begins right here in Norfolk, Virginia, as it does every year. It's an exciting time to be a Wildcat. It's an exciting time to be a MEAC football fan, in fact, because you have all the teams, all the head coaches, all the fans come in here, the boosters, sponsors, everyone that enjoys MEAC football comes right here to Norfolk, Virginia, and you're talking about the home of the green and gold, so right here in their backyard, and it's just one of those times that you say, you know what, football's here and I can taste it.
Well, Bryan, let's start out going back to last year. What did the Wildcats lose from 2017?
I think the biggest loss from 2017 is in the secondary, and that's Daquan Richardson. I think Daquan is a guy that you really looked forward to having back there as a leader. He was a safety that kind of came up and played a little bit like a linebacker in that middle slide where he was the captain back there. Devin and Marquise were great in those roles, but Deuce was a guy that really set the tone back there. He really let you know, this is my defense, I'm going to take charge of this thing, and he hovered around back there in that no-fly zone, kind of so to speak, to where teams became a little leery of passing across the middle, and that's a really big loss in that particular area. But I think another area that you lose a little bit of leadership, you go offensively, and even though Larry Brim may not have put up Quentin Williams numbers or even Alan Suber numbers, he put up wins, and that's something that you really cannot take away. The man won every Florida Classic he was a part of, won two on his legs, literally, in his freshman year where he ran in on the two-point conversion, and then this past season where he bootlegged and ran out to the left. So defensively, Daquan Richardson is a guy that you lose, and then offensively, it's Larry Brim.
But the Cats didn't lose everyone. They returned some key pieces on both sides of the ball, too, B.
Yeah, absolutely. They return key pieces on both sides. Elliot Miller is the one that sets the tone on defense. This is a cornerback that kind of represents an old school, gritty, grimy cornerback. He's a lockdown corner. May not be that guy that's the tallest when you see him, but he's a guy that has bunnies, man. He can hop.
Elliot, I know you play cornerback, but how do you get back to having that dominating defensive unit?
Just playing Wildcat football. That's all we used to do. Just play Wildcat football and just be aggressive, know your opponent, and really just play hard every play and win every down, win every play. And that's all we want to do, just be aggressive.
So that's it, that Wildcat football, win every play, win every down.
Yes, sir.
I got you.
On offense, Keavon Mitchell is really the mainstay. I mean, this is a guy that he really made his name at that Central game, scooping underneath off the tip. But I tell you what he did throughout the course of the season was so much more than just that catch. He set up some big plays. He caught some big third down conversions. This is a guy that I think is ready for a breakout season. And I tell you what, he's someone you need to highlight on that 2 beat, because Keavon Mitchell is a guy that really quarterbacks are going to start eyeing. They're going to start looking for him on crossing routes. They're going to look at him for go patterns because his speed is elusive. You really may look at him and think, oh, he's a possession guy, but he's a speed receiver as well, Nolan. So I tell you what, Keavon Mitchell on offense and definitely Elliot Miller on defense.
Well, we talked about Elliot Miller and Keavon Mitchell returning Wildcats. They're going to be strong in their respective sides of the ball. Coming up after this break, they had a chance to interact with media from around the MEAC and around the nation. They got hard questions. We decided to lighten it up, give them some off-the-wall questions. We'll see what their answers were. Coming up next, here in the BCU Wildcat Football Insider.
Each team starts their journey on separate roads, but they all converge to one road to the championship. There will be revenge and redemption. There'll be an Aggie and Eagle standoff. There'll be bulldogs and bears colliding with tigers and Spartans, hornets fighting off bison, and wildcats rattling the rattlers. The road has twists and turns, and when it ends, one thing is certain. Only one team will claim the title, MEAC champion.
The DNA of Bethune-cookman comes from the heart of a great woman whose legacy lives on today in each and every Wildcat.
I leave you love.
I leave you hope.
I leave you a thirst for education.
I leave you faith.
I leave you, finally, a responsibility to our young people.
Great leaders always leave something for others to follow.
What will you leave us?
Ready or not, here I come, you can't hide.
There's nowhere to hide. Nowhere to run. It's time to hunt.
Now we're inside the Hilton Main here in Norfolk, Virginia, the new location for the MEAC Football Media Days. And it's so great to have two of our Wildcats with us today. Elliot Miller, you know him, he locks down the outside in his cornerback position. He's back in his senior season. And then opposite him, the man who caught Hail Mary McLeod-Bethune, Keavon Mitchell, you know him as CC. He's with us. They're going around. They're meeting members from inside the MEAC and outside as well. National media are asking them all the hard questions. So we decided they're getting all these hard questions. Let's give them something a little more lighthearted. Let's get to know Elliot and Keavon.
It's a lot of people on the team that have really good hands, to be honest. There's quite a few, like Keavon, who with me right now, Anthony Cruz. Really, everybody it's not even offense. Some people on the defense have very good hands. Like I say, me myself have very good hands from having a one-hand pick from last year. And I like a couple of linebackers too that have good hands too.
I have to say Anthony Cruz.
That's tough. That's a tough one because we have some newcomers that can run some good routes too, and I was just working out with them, but I still have to see right now because since we have new people, we have to see come camp.
I'll give it to Alvin Harper, transfer that just came.
Not to be biased or nothing, but I really like the Florida Classic this year because we was down by down a couple of points. We was down a couple of points and we just came out and finished and won the game. So that was like really my favorite game because we really had to get really tuned in and really like focused to win.
That's a tough one, but I would have to say the Classic or Southeastern Louisiana.
One guy, you gotta put me on the spot like that. Let me think, I'm sorry, I gotta think real quick. One guy? I would say Elijah Bell from North Carolina Central A&T. North Carolina A&T. I think he'll be a big plus, a big, huge, tall receiver, aggressive receiver. He'll be a big plus for us.
Well, I would probably have to say Bryan Stanley, because that's my boy from high school, quarterback from FAMU.
Put me on the spot again. To be honest, it really was Morgan State, not to believe, because since I'm a smaller DB, like Morgan State have real big, tall, like receivers. So I was really in a dogfight like the whole game, non-stop. So I was really fighting the whole game. So that was like really their whole receiving core. I was just fighting. So I like Morgan State receivers.
I can't really think of a player right now, but as far as the team, they all had different competitive energy. So it's just fun playing against all of them. I like North Carolina A&T's go and gold and blue. I like that combination.
I'm sorry, I can't be biased on that one. I think we have the best color coordination, best jerseys, helmets. I feel like we have it all. So I'm sorry, I can't pick nobody on that one. It has to be us. Of course me. I dress the best. I dress the best. I feel like I dress the best. But a lot of people have like different type of like, I would say swagger to them because they're from like different states. But when it comes to dressing, I feel like it's me. And plus shoes, so I like me.
Everyone have a different style, so that's tough, but I have to go with the sauce gang. That's receivers.
The receivers
as a whole? As a whole sauce gang.
Head coach. I would say we'll get to work first day. Going to work first day. On my first day in, we'll just going to work and show them, just stand on my ground and show them that we're going to win championships here.
Ooh, that's fun. First thing I'll do, I just want to open the office and get the code to Coach Sam's office and open the door and just sit in the chair.
Dedication. And plus we have like, I would say that inner dog in us. So like really like any situation, any obstacle, I feel like we could overcome it. So like, I feel like it's the dedication and the dog in us.
Just the bitter taste we had left in our mouth from last year. And the new faces that's competing, they don't know what the MEAC is about. So they're just ready to learn, ready to compete, and they're just following us. And we're gonna lead them to the right place.
Each team starts their journey on separate roads, but they all converge to one road to the championship. There will be revenge and redemption. There'll be an Aggie and Eagle standoff. There'll be Bulldogs and Bears colliding with Tigers and Spartans. Hornets fighting off Bison and Wildcats rattling the Rattlers. The road has twists and turns, and when it ends, one thing is certain. Only one team will claim the title, MEAC champion.
The DNA of Bethune-cookman comes from the heart of a great woman whose legacy lives on today in each and every Wildcat.
I leave you love.
I leave you hope.
I leave you a thirst for education.
I leave you faith.
I leave you, finally, a responsibility to our young people.
Great leaders always leave something for others to follow.
What will you leave us?
As a season ticket holder, you'll never miss a moment like this.
Trips to the left, to the right. Four down linemen, they rush four on a twist. Brim steps out to the left, steps up, scrambles to the left, tosses it towards the left side of the end zone. Tipped ball, still in the air, and it's caught by BCU. The Wildcats catch it. BCU wins on a Hail Mary, a tip pass. My God, what a blessing in Durham. I don't believe what I just saw. My God, BCU rushes the field on a tipped Hail Mary. No time is left, and no more heartbreakers for the Wildcats.
Guarantee your seat to witness the next answered prayer.
2018 BCU football season ticket renewal forms are out now. Back inside the Hilton Main here in Norfolk, Virginia, where we want to be. Right here, this is the end goal. This is the Celebration Bowl trophy for the winner of the annual Celebration Bowl going in its fourth season at the brand new Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. To get here, the path isn't going to be easy. We have the head coaches here at the MEAC Football Media Days. In order for them to reach this destination, to come home with this trophy, they had to answer one hard question. Let's ask away. Coach, can Mike Waters regain his 2016 form? If so, how does that impact your offense?
Mike Waters has had a very productive spring and a very productive summer. We are super excited about what he's doing and how he's preparing. To say he can get back to the form that he had in 2016, that's up to Mike Waters. Mike has a long road to travel, but he's working very, very diligently to get back there and then take it a step above. He is very, very instrumental to our offense and the things that we do. We look forward to him being a big part of our offensive production this year.
Defense last year had some explosive plays in the backfield. Rico Kennedy also gave up some explosive plays defensively too. How does the defense cut down on giving up the big pass or the big run this year?
Well, we have to win our one-on-one matchups. You know, the main thing we talk about is winning your one-on-one matchups, but we're going to be that same aggressive style defense. We're going to go after you. We're going to make the quarterback have to make the throw, and the chance you take when you're aggressive like that is you can get beat with the big pass or the big catch, but it's not. That's who we are. That's what our identity is, and we just have to win our one-on-one matchups. I guarantee you, if they made the big play, big pass, big catch, somebody lost their one-on-one matchup.
The one area of your team, offense or defense, for you to go where you want to go this year, what's the one area that has to execute and has to perform well?
For us, I think it starts on the line of scrimmage, you know, on offensive line, defensive line. For us to be successful, we're going to have to do a better job up front of controlling the line of scrimmage.
How do you go about that?
Well, you know, hopefully we have all 5 of our offensive linemen returning, and we have 4 defensive linemen return. So hopefully having another year under their belt in the weight room, bigger, stronger, more physical, and I think for some of the younger guys that we're going to have to play on the defensive line, you're just going to have to be more aggressive with them. Let them play faster, not sit them in one spot and move them around a little bit to help them to make some plays.
If you have a strong defensive line up front, what can that do for your defense?
Well, just, you know, it improves you from a run defensive standpoint, and it takes some pressure off your defensive backs. You know, there's the best pass defense is a good pass rush, and we've had that the last 2 years. We have been able to get to the passer, but you know, we just need. We kind of been relying on 1 or 2 guys. We need everybody to kind of elevate their game, and so that we can generate consistent pressure down, first down through fourth down.
You've had a dude on defense for the past 4 years. 5.
Yes, we've had 5 straight defensive players of the year, starting with Joe Thomas. Y'all forgot about him.
Who's the 2018 Defensive Player of the Year? Who's
Paul
the next guy?
Keavon. He's a defensive lineman, defensive tackle inside. Give him one from sideline to sideline. Hopefully he'll play at the level of South Carolina State's defensive greats of the past.
So you don't get a Darius Leonard that walks through the door every single day. But
we signed a guy, though, that we think might be that kind of guy. But we didn't know Darius Leonard was what he was. He actually had a redshirt year, if you can believe that. And then he comes after that and plays really well. But let's hope that we've got somebody back in the background that might be that guy.
How do you reciprocate his production? Not necessarily replace him, but as a whole, reciprocate what he did for your defense.
How do you replace any great person that you've had? You don't. What you do is you try to make up for it with team concepts and the kinds of things that you would think would make your team better overall. But the bottom line is that that guy is gone, and you'll never have another one like that again.
Coach, you returned so much talent and so many pieces from last season. One area your team struggled in was scoring in the second half. What would a strong second half offense do for this team in 2018?
Well, I think it gives you the ability to win football games. You know, when you look at it, we lost, you know, we're 10 points away from being 7-4 versus 4-7. I think had a lot to do with our inability to run the football. So if you can run the football in the second half and finish games, you have a chance to win them.
Coach, you got pieces back in offense, you got playmakers on defense, but I think one area your team, you can get better at is third down defense. Inheriting a team that's been last in the MEAC the last 2 years, third down defense. How do you get better in that area of the game?
Well, for us, that's one of our pillars. We have 7 pillars that we emphasize, and finishing is one of those things. And getting people off the field on third down is a matter of finishing. And so for us to be the team that we're capable of being, we have to finish drives. And so we know offensively that means sustaining drives, getting first downs. Defensively, we understand that means getting them off the field on third downs and limiting them to scoring opportunities in the red zone. So that's a heavy emphasis for us that we talk about every day. And Coach Street, our defensive coordinator, has done a phenomenal job of emphasizing that with our young men.
What can that do for your team, being better on third down?
I think it's the difference in winning and losing. Again, those critical situations, third downs, red zone opportunities, it's a difference a lot of times. Turnover margin is a difference a lot of times in winning and losing. And this team that I inherited, if you look back in the past, has had many opportunities to maybe change the game. Last year they lost a lot of close games, and some of those third down opportunities, maybe some of the mishaps in the red zone might have been the difference in them being maybe an 8-win team as opposed to a 3-win.
Coach, I think you got a really solid team coming back. I think there's not that many question marks, but one area I think your team can make a jump in this coming year is getting a big play in the passing game, getting an explosive play in the passing game. What's the missing ingredient for the Eagles to go to the next level when it comes to passing this year?
Well, I just think our quarterbacks got to grow up and make the right reads. We worked this offseason on adding some talent that could stretch the field, and so that's what we kind of focused on. I think our quarterbacks are maturing to make that throw, and it's a combination of things. But getting the pieces to be able to stretch the field, having the quarterback make the right reads, it's been the thing that we kind of dissected and seen that was missing to do that over and over, and I think we've addressed that this offseason.
What would that do for your offense, being able to stretch the field?
Well, we've always looked at ourselves as we want to be a big, explosive, offensive play team, and so we've had success running the ball at times, but being able to do it in the air is also a great compliment, and we knew that's an area that we had to grow. We'll see how it works out. We think we've addressed the matters that could help and enhance that part of the game, so we'll have to see how it works out this year.
For Kalen Newton to become a better passer in third and medium, third and long, when the defense knows a pass is going to come, how does he progress in that situation? How does he get better in those third and medium, third and longs?
Yeah, he's worked on those elements of his game that will allow him to really improve overall. And I think his understanding of coverages, understanding pre-alignments, post-snap reads, working on accuracy, trusting the route, trusting the receiver. I think those things are going to play into it. And again, the fact that he's got a set of wheels that can, he feels he can get a first down, but also realize that, if they're overplaying him, that the opportunity to keep the change going by being accurate in those third and mediums are going to be something he's really going to be in tune to. And he's worked on that during the course of the summer practices that we've had, coming in, watching the cut-ups and all those things. So I'm looking for him to improve greatly in that area.
Obviously, Brandon Parkers don't walk through the door every day at any school in the FCS. How do you replace his and some other graduating linemen, their production? Not necessarily them, but how do you replace their production to the team?
I wish I knew the answer to that question. But what we will do, we have a few young men that we have tried to develop over the years. We're going to give them an opportunity. And we also have a young man, a transfer from Kansas State, Brian Matthews. He had a great summer, and hopefully he can help fill that void.
It's about all the time we have for today on the BCU Wildcat Football Insider. Kickoff coming up this Saturday from Nissan Stadium in Nashville for the 30th annual John Merritt Classic. Bryan, if there are some fans on the fence whether to make the trip to Nashville, why should they come watch the Wildcats take on Tennessee State?
I think you just said it, Nolan. It's the John Merritt Classic. Big John, a legend at Big Blue, a legend in Nashville, a legend in HBCU football. You talk about some of the names that are synonymous with HBCU football, Big John Merritt comes up there. And then you talk about a rivalry that has picked back up in intensity over the last probably 6-7 years. Tennessee State and Bethune-Cookman is that rivalry. Not to mention the last time we beat Tennessee State was in the John Merritt Classic up in Nashville. So I think fans have got to come out. You've got to experience the aristocratic bands. You've got to experience the marching Wildcats. You've got to see Rod Reed and Big Blue. You've got to see the maroon and gold and Terry Sims. It's just going to be a great time in good old country Nashville.
It's the 30th annual John Merritt Classic as the Wildcats kick off the 2018 season in Nashville, Tennessee. And you can follow all the action on the Cat Eye Radio Network, WELE 1380 AM. Larry Wesley and I will have the call if you can't make it up to Nashville. Bryan, had a lot of fun for this first episode of the BCU Wildcat Football Insider Show. Look forward to seeing you up in Nashville. Absolutely. For Bryan Harvey, I'm Nolan Alexander. Hail Wildcats!